you want to see change or fixed in Duluth? That's what the Chamber Foundation recently asked residents in a survey. Northern News Now's Cara Cobb breaks down the results.
Not surprised by the results in general. It's the same sort of topics we've been hearing about for a while.
That's the response from the Duluth Area Chamber Foundation Executive Director Dan Fanning of recent survey results. More than 300 Duluth residents saying the most important issue facing the city is homelessness and affordable housing.
We wanted to make sure what we were hearing from the businesses and our members was correlating with the general public.
The Chamber Foundation using survey findings to help them prioritize areas of concern in their work to improve the community.
We're not looking to point out the good things or the bad things. We're looking to really just point out like where their opportunities are, where are their challenges, where can we as a Chamber of Commerce and a Chamber Foundation have an impact.
Chamber Foundation leaders saying they have been working on making housing improvements. Over the past few years, making 1,700 new housing units available in Duluth. That including affordable housing projects like the HRA's Fairmont Cottage Villages.
So the good news is it feels like we're trending in the right direction. We just don't want to rest on those laurels. And if anything, we want to double down on those efforts.
Even though we're making more progress, maybe in recent years, we still have a long ways to go to get caught up so that the supply equals the demand.
One Roof housing leaders saying that the housing issue is not unique to Duluth, which is why the Chamber, along with their organization, have been working at the state capitol together, looking for state funding to support their future housing efforts.
Working in that way with the Chamber and the city to push forward and have there be more resources for housing and then have projects ready that we can get that investment in.
Those at the Chamber Foundation saying the survey proves one thing to them.
We could do better.
Which they say they intend to do. In Duluth, Cara Cobb, Northern News Now.
Fanning also says the foundation will conduct a similar survey with the business community.